Let's talk tariffs. What are they? In simplest terms, they're taxes on goods coming from other countries. Imagine you're buying a cool new gadget online from overseas. A tariff means the government slaps an extra charge on that gadget, making it more expensive for you. Why do governments do this? Well, there are a few reasons. One is to protect domestic industries. If a foreign competitor can sell something cheaper, a tariff can even the playing field for local businesses. Think of it like giving your home team an advantage. Another reason is to generate revenue for the government. Those extra charges on imported goods, they go straight to the government's coffers. It's a way to collect taxes, albeit indirectly. Finally, tariffs can be used as a bargaining chip in international trade. Countries might threaten tariffs to get better deals or concessions from their trading partners. It's all part of the complex dance of global commerce. Here's the catch with tariffs. They usually hit consumers right in the wallet. Remember that cool gadget you wanted to buy online? Well, that tariff makes it more expensive. And it's not just gadgets. Tariffs can affect the prices of everyday goods like clothes, food, and even cars. When tariffs are imposed, businesses often have to raise prices to cover the added costs. This means consumers end up paying more for the same products. In some cases, it might even make certain goods unaffordable for some people. Moreover, tariffs can limit choices for consumers. If foreign goods become too expensive, consumers might have fewer options to choose from. This can stifle competition and innovation in the marketplace. The bottom line is that while tariffs are often touted as a way to protect domestic businesses, they can end up hurting consumers by driving up prices and limiting choices. Now let's talk about how tariffs affect American businesses. It's not a simple equation. While some industries might benefit from protectionist measures, others can suffer significant harm. For businesses that rely on imported goods, tariffs can disrupt supply chains and increase costs. Think of a company that manufactures electronics. If they have to pay more for components from overseas, it eats into their profits and can make them less competitive. Then there are American exporters who sell their goods abroad. When we impose tariffs, other countries often retaliate with tariffs of their own. This can make American products more expensive in foreign markets, hurting sales and potentially costing American jobs. The agricultural industry is a prime example. Farmers who rely on exporting crops like soybeans have been hit hard by retaliatory tariffs. Their products have become less competitive, leading to decreased demand and lower prices. Tariffs create winners and losers in the business world. While some companies might see a short-term boost, others face significant challenges and uncertainty in the face of trade wars. The recent trade war between the United States and China provides a stark illustration of the complexities and potential consequences of tariffs. What began as a tit-for-tat exchange of tariffs has escalated into a full-blown trade conflict with far-reaching implications. The Trump administration imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, citing concerns about unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. China responded in kind, slapping tariffs on American exports like soybeans, automobiles, and pork. This trade war has resulted in higher prices for consumers and businesses on both sides of the Pacific. American companies have faced disrupted supply chains, reduced access to Chinese markets, and increased uncertainty. Chinese businesses have faced similar challenges, along with pressure to find alternative markets for their products. The trade war has also had geopolitical ramifications, straining relations between the two superpowers and adding complexity to global trade negotiations. It has highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy and the potential for tariffs to disrupt established trade flows. The US-China trade war serves as a cautionary tale, demonstrating the potential for tariffs to escalate tensions, harm businesses, and disrupt global trade. Section 5, the global chessboard geopolitics of trade. So tariffs aren't just about economics, they're often used as pawns in a larger geopolitical game. You see, countries use tariffs and trade agreements to exert influence, forge alliances, and pursue strategic objectives. For instance, a country might offer favorable trade deals to a developing nation in exchange for political support or maybe access to natural resources. On the flip side, a country might impose tariffs as a way to punish a rival or pressure them to change their behavior on the world stage. In recent years, we've seen a rise in protectionist policies and trade disputes. It's, reflecting a shift in the global balance of power and growing economic nationalism. Countries are increasingly focused on protecting their own interests, even if it means disrupting established trade relationships. The use of tariffs as a geopolitical tool really adds another layer of complexity to international trade. It just goes to show the interconnectedness of economics and politics on the global stage. One of the arguments often made in favor of tariffs is that they can help revive domestic manufacturing by making foreign goods more expensive. The idea is to create an uneven playing field that gives local producers an advantage. However, the reality is far more nuanced. While tariffs might provide a temporary boost to some domestic industries, they can also have unintended consequences that offset any potential benefits. For one, tariffs raise costs for businesses that use imported components, making them less competitive. Additionally, they can lead to retaliatory tariffs from other countries, harming American exporters and potentially costing jobs in those sectors. Furthermore, tariffs can stifle innovation by reducing competition. When domestic companies are shielded from foreign rivals, they have less incentive to invest in research and development or to become more efficient. While tariffs might seem like a quick fix for declining manufacturing, they are unlikely to be a silver bullet. A more sustainable approach would involve investing in education, worker training, and technological innovation to enhance American competitiveness in the global marketplace. Another argument often used to justify tariffs is the need to reduce trade deficits, the gap between a country's imports and exports. The logic is that by making foreign goods more expensive, tariffs will encourage consumers to buy domestically produced goods, thereby reducing the trade deficit. However, trade deficits are complex and influenced by a multitude of factors, including currency exchange rates, domestic savings rates, and overall economic growth. Simply slapping tariffs on imported goods is unlikely to address the underlying causes of trade imbalances. Moreover, focusing solely on trade deficits can be misleading. A trade deficit doesn't necessarily mean a country is losing its trade. In fact, it can be a sign of a strong economy that is importing goods and services to meet consumer demand. Attempting to eliminate trade deficits through tariffs can backfire. It can lead to higher prices for consumers, retaliatory tariffs from trading partners, and a slowdown in economic growth. As tariffs and trade tensions rise, they're reshaping the landscape of global alliances. Countries are reassessing their economic and political partnerships, seeking new markets and sources of supply. The US-China trade war, for instance, has prompted both countries to look for alternative trading partners. China has strengthened ties with countries in Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America, while the United States has pursued bilateral trade deals with countries like Japan, South Korea, and Canada. This realignment of global trade is creating both opportunities and challenges. It's leading to new trade routes, investment flows, and economic partnerships. However, it's also raising concerns about protectionism, fragmentation of the global trading system, and the potential for economic conflict. The shifting alliances in a tariff-ridden world are creating a more complex and uncertain geopolitical landscape. The long-term consequences of increased tariffs and trade tensions are still unfolding. While there might be some short-term gains for certain industries or countries, the overall impact on the global economy is likely to be negative. Increased tariffs can lead to higher prices for consumers, reduced economic growth, and job losses in export-dependent sectors. They can also disrupt global supply chains, making it more difficult and expensive for businesses to operate across borders. Furthermore, trade wars can erode trust between countries, making it harder to address shared challenges like climate change, pandemics, and cybersecurity threats. The future of global trade hangs in the balance. Will we see a retreat into protectionism and economic nationalism, or will countries find a way to cooperate and maintain an open and rules-based trading system? The answers to these questions will have profound implications for the global economy, geopolitics, and the lives of people around the world. It's a critical juncture that demands careful consideration and a commitment to finding solutions that benefit all.